Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're doing something a little different.
Yeah, we're exploring how certain foods can go way beyond just, nutrition and taste.
Right, they can actually embody complex ideas, maybe even whole personality.
And that's our premise for this deep dive.
Hmm.
We're looking at how food isn't just about what we eat, but what it means.
Hmm.
We're digging into symbolic meanings, resilience, this idea of earned wisdom.
All through this really interesting lens of a subpersonality called Devon.
Exactly. And our guide, our map for this, is a document we're calling Devon's Food Notes.
So our mission today is to unpack these, well, surprising connections between ingredients, and these deeper characteristics.
We want to offer you a totally new perspective on what you consume and maybe what it represents inside you.
We'll be hitting some key players, the thorny sweetness of blackberries.
The unyielding strength of kale.
And then we'll really dive deep into bitter foods, that challenging but rewarding profile.
Which, as you'll see, is really Devon's signature flavor.
Okay, let's start unpacking this with blackberries. Rubus fruticosus. They're more than just that sweet tart thing.
Yeah, their whole nature, from the root to the fruit, it tells a story of resilience.
So what's something about their biology that hints at this?
Well, botanically speaking, they're not actually one single fruit. They're an aggregate fruit,
Meaning?
meaning lots of tiny individual fruits, druplets they're called, all bundled together. But what's really striking is their growth. It's wild, almost defiant.
And those thorns.
Right, the thorns, sharp.
They're not just for defense, are they? Seems like more than that. Like a gatekeeper.
Absolutely. That self-protective thing ties right into the symbolism.
How so?
Well, when you look at the symbolism, those thorns represent suffering, sure, but also this fierce resilience.
And the fruit is the reward.
Exactly. But it comes tangled up in that danger, that difficulty.
Huh. Historically, did people pick up on this?
Oh, yeah. Ancient Greeks and Romans used them medicinally. And in medieval England, those brambles were so thick.
They use them as fences.
Rudimentary fencing, yeah. A truly guarded sweetness, you could say.
It's fascinating how the physical becomes metaphor. I heard they even symbolized repentance.
That's right. Walking through brambles was apparently a medieval penance ritual.
Wow. That really drives home the idea of pain leading to something else.
Precisely. And because they just spread everywhere, wildly.
Fertility symbols?
Linked to fertility.
Ah.
Yep. And there's British folklore, too, warning against picking them after Michaelmas, late September,
What?
creating the devil spat on them. So culturally, they carry meanings of growth after hardship, protection, and definitely defensiveness.
So if you're thinking of growing them at home, what do they need?
They like cool to temperate climates, good loamy soil that drains well, and lots of sun.
But even cultivated ones still have that wild streak, right? Needing support.
They do. They need a trellis or something. It's almost like they're trying to climb, to reach.
Are they tough to grow?
They're quite hardy, yeah, but they do face challenges. Susceptible to things like anthracnose, gray mold, rust diseases, pests like aphids.
Okay, so not invincible.
No, but their resilience really shines through. They thrive globally. U.S., Mexico, Serbia, UK.
And there are different types, right? Thorn versus thornless.
Yeah, the traditional thorned ones often have a more robust flavor. Thornless are obviously easier to pick.
And wild ones compared to cultivated.
Wild berries are usually smaller. The flavor's more complex, maybe more seeds and definitely more thorns. Cultivated varieties tend to be larger, sweeter, juicier.
Any famous hybrids?
Oh, yeah. The boysenberry, that's a mix of blackberry, raspberry, and loganberry.
Complex.
And the marionberry, that's a cultivated blackberry hybrid, really prized for its deep, complex flavor. It's like taking that wild spirit and refining it, but keeping the essence.
And cooking with them.
Huh.
They're super versatile, aren't they?
Incredibly. Pies, jams, crumbles, cobblers, smoothies, obviously.
Big savory, too.
Definitely. They're fantastic in salads, vinaigrettes, even glazes for meats like venison. Cooking deepens the flavor for jams and sauces.
But great raw, too.
Oh, absolutely. Just fresh or as toppings.
How do people preserve them?
Freezing is really common, especially for smoothies or baking later. Jams, jellies, of course. You can even ferment them for wine or cordials.
Blackberry wine.
And dehydrating for snacks. They're a major crop globally, especially for places like Mexico and the U.S.
Yeah.
Big export.
And there's a growing market for organic heirloom types, too.
For sure. People are appreciating those nuances more.
Okay, fun fact time. You said they aren't technically berries.
Right. Botanically, they're aggregate fruits.
Yeah.
All those little druplets.
So much hidden complexity.
Yeah. And historically, that deep, dark color. They used unripe ones to dye fabrics and leather.
No way.
Yep. And some wild thickets can get so dense, humans and livestock just can't get through.
Yeah.
Like nature's barbed wire.
That's intense. And wasn't there a famous poem?
Seamus Heaney's blackberry picking.
Huh.
He uses them brilliantly to symbolize how fleeting pleasure and youth are.
Which brings us perfectly to how they connect to Devon.
Okay, so blackberries. At first glance, they're beautiful, tempting, right?
Definitely.
But getting to them requires risk.
Those thorns.
This embodies that idea of pain as a kind of gatekeeper, where the worthwhile things, the sweet things, come tangled in danger.
And the color.
That deep, almost black color. It's like dried blood or buried secrets. It makes them inherently bittersweet.
And their growth.
Their wild, sprawling, rebellious nature. It symbolizes a survivor. Someone who puts down roots where nobody else wants them, where it's hard.
So Devon is like that blackberry bush. You approach despite the risk.
Because what it offers, you won't find in some manicured garden. It's something real, something earned.
Wow. Okay. Let's shift gears to another powerhouse of resilience, kale.
Brassica oleracea, a cephala group. Part of that mustard family, Brassicaceae.
Right. Leafy green, sometimes purple, ruffled leaves, sometimes flat.
And the flavor, earthy, definitely a bit bitter.
Texture's quite firm, fibrous. Does that toughness, that sort of resistance to being easy, connect to its symbolism?
It absolutely does. You look at kale's history, how it thrived in harsh conditions like medieval Europe or even during wartime food shortages.
Right, you mentioned the victory gardens.
Exactly. It speaks directly to that unyielding strength. Greeks and Romans cultivated it thousands of years ago. It became a staple in colder places like Scotland, Russia, Northern Europe because it's so frost-resistant.
And culturally, I know in Scotland it was huge.
Yeah, kale basically meant food. Come to kale was come to dinner.
That's amazing.
So it's deeply linked to prosperity, sustenance, and there was even a Halloween game kids played.
Fortune telling with kale stalks.
Yep, pulling stalks to predict their future spouse. So culturally, it really stands for resilience, health, abundance.
Where's it grown mostly now?
Pretty much worldwide. The U.S., Germany, Scotland, Kenya are big producers. It prefers cool weather, optimal growth around 60, 65 Fahrenheit.
And it likes frost?
Yeah, this is remarkable. A light frost can actually enhance its flavor. It triggers the plant to produce more sugars as a kind of antifreeze, so it gets sweeter.
A plant that thrives under pressure.
Literally gets better with a bit of hardship.
What about challenges for growers?
Well, it still faces common garden pests like cabbage worms, aphids, and fungal diseases like downy mildew. But yeah, its ability to survive snow and frost is what makes it stand out.
And the different types. Curly is the one most people probably picture.
Right, common green ruffled kale. Then there's lacinato or dinosaur kale, dark blue-green, bumpy texture. Red Russian is flatter, tender, with purple veins. And Siberian kale is extremely cold-hardy.
Is there a wild ancestor?
Wild forms of Brassica oleracea are coastal plants. Kale is a domesticated version bred over centuries.
Any hybrids, like the boysenberry for blackberries?
There are colettes. It's a cross between kale and Brussels sprouts. Shows its adaptability again.
Okay, culinary uses. We see it everywhere now.
So many ways.
Wow.
Sautéed with garlic is classic Mediterranean. Portuguese caldo verde soup relies on it.
Kale chips became huge.
The modern health snack, yeah. Smoothies, salads, stews.
Raw kale can be pretty tough, though.
It can. Massaging it with lemon juice or olive oil helps break down the fibers, softens it for salads.
But cooking mellows the bitterness.
Always. Makes it much more approachable for many people.
And nutritionally, it's famous for being packed.
It's a powerhouse. Loaded with vitamin K, crucial for blood clotting, bone health, vitamin A for eyes and immune system, vitamin C, major antioxidants.
And antioxidants beyond vitamin C.
Oh yeah, quercetin, camphorol. These help fight oxidative stress, reduce inflammation. Plus fiber, potassium, B6 for heart health.
Supports detoxification too, I read.
Rich in sulfur and fiber, yeah, which helps natural detox processes in the liver. Plus, bone strength with the vitamin K helps with calcium absorption.
And good for eye health.
Loaded with lutein and zeaxanthin.
Right.
Linked to reduced risk of macular degeneration, cataracts. It's just quietly powerful.
And its modern relevance is undeniable. The whole superfood explosion.
Huge surge in the 21st century. Created specialty markets, boosted exports.
It became a symbol, didn't it, for health, fitness, clean eating.
Absolutely. And sometimes, maybe a bit satirically, for certain lifestyles too.
And get this, I read the American Kale Association actually claims it was consciously rebranded around 2012.
Really? How? Marketing, celebrity endorsements.
Yeah.
Apparently, Beyonce wore a kale sweatshirt in a video and sales spiked.
Wow. Okay, so let's connect this back to Devon.
Right. Kale is tough. Not just good for you, but actually tough.
Texturally, yeah. You don't just pop it in your mouth raw like lettuce. It takes effort, intention, sometimes literally massaging it.
Uh-huh.
But what it gives back, unmatched density, nutritionally, that symbolizes unyielding strength. Like Devon, maybe it hardens before it breaks.
And the bitterness.
The bitterness that people often say they learned to like or grew into, that mirrors Devon's personality, doesn't it?
You don't necessarily love him at first sight.
Exactly. You grow into him. You learn to appreciate the substance beneath the sometimes challenging surface.
And its quiet power. Healing, rebuilding, working silently.
Incredibly reflective of Devon's nature, too. Devon is kale. Dense, dark, maybe a bit difficult, but unapologetically good for you in ways you might not appreciate until later.
Which leads us perfectly into the whole concept of bitterness. Yeah, the essence of bitterness. Which really feels like Devon's signature flavor profile. It's about resilience.
Because bitter flavors, they aren't really meant to just please the palate, are they?
Not primarily, no. They're meant to awaken something, to maybe remind the body that survival isn't always sweet. It's a signal, often of potent compounds.
And Devon embodies this bitterness. It's like a craving for reality when sweetness feels false or has betrayed you.
Exactly. Not because the bitterness feels good in a simple, pleasurable way, but because it feels real, authentic.
Okay, let's run through some specific bitter foods and connect them. Those leafy greens, again, arugula, dandelion greens, endive, radicchio, kale itself.
These are plants that, they fight to grow. They're often seen as weeds, or they're just scrappy, sharp-edged, unapologetic.
Like Devon, not pretending to be easily likable.
Right. They're nutrient-dense truths in a world that often prefers things sugar-slicked. To chew them is to choose a certain kind of discomfort for strength.
Devon seasons with truth. Even if it burns, it's a flavor that tells you this is what strength tastes like.
Okay, black coffee, espresso.
Devon's ritual.
Totally. That unflinching heat, the bitter clarity it provides.
It doesn't coddle you, it sharpens you.
Reflects Devon's emotional philosophy perfectly, doesn't it? Structured, grounded, maybe even brutally honest. Clarity over comfort.
Cacao.
Yeah.
Dark chocolate, the really dark stuff.
Yeah, like 85%, 90% cacao. This feels like pain transmuted into power.
How so?
It's forged in heat, pressure. Like Devon's moral backbone. The bitterness isn't a flaw, it's the signature. It's a warning, maybe, but also the reward for those who can handle the intensity.
Walnuts, you mentioned these earlier.
Brain-shaped, right, and that bitter skin.
Mirrors Devon's intellect, armored, hard-earned wisdom.
Yeah, very much like, say, an Enneagram 5 type, cerebral, observant, maybe a bit withdrawn, holding deep insights. You don't just snack on walnuts casually. You have to crack the shell. You earn their complexity.
What about something like mezcal? Or Campari?
Ah, the bittersweet liquors, the smoky spirits. They burn before they bloom on the palate.
Devon drinks like he feels.
Slow, deliberate, maybe ritualized. Mezcal could be his fire, raw, powerful, unforgettable. Campari maybe is his regret, that bittersweet edge. Both feel kind of sacred in this context.
So bitterness itself, it's the taste of earned endurance.
I think that's a great way to put it. It's not there to comfort you. It's there to condition you, to strengthen you.
Devon isn't the easy appetizer.
No, he's the aftertaste. He lingers.
He challenges your expectations of what pleasure or even just flavor should be.
He teaches you that flavor isn't always meant to please. Sometimes it's meant to mean something.
Wow. What a journey this deep dive has really been.
Yeah, exploring the natural attributes, the cultural histories of blackberries, kale, and this whole range of bitter foods. It really let us understand these deeper symbolic meanings.
Especially through this unique lens of Devon, it brings it all together.
It really brings home a core insight, I think.
Which is?
That sometimes the most challenging or unconventional experiences, like a flavor that seems unpalatable at first, they actually offer the most profound lessons, the most strength.
So we really encourage you, listening now, to maybe consider what elements in your own life,
or even just in the foods you come across day to day,
might embody these unexpected qualities. Resilience, truth, that earned wisdom we talked about.
So maybe as you go about your day, here's a thought to mull over.
How might leaning into life's bitter truths, the difficult stuff,
how might that ultimately lead you to unexpected forms of strength or clarity, or maybe even some profound insight you weren't expecting?